Don't think I didn't notice you in that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon trailer. I know I saw you, I know I saw this room. Can't get anything past me. Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Crystal. Last time, we conquered our 4th Kanto region gym in Fuchsia City, and this time, it is currently Sunday as of recording this, and on Sundays and Wednesdays, the SS Aqua will actually return to Olivine City, so I think we are going to be showing that off, because certain things do change on the boat on these days. Welcome to Fast Ship SS Aqua. We be boarding today? Absolutely. Flash our ticket as normal, and we are once again permitted onto the SS Aqua. Now, I believe I mentioned this a few episodes back when we took the boat the first time, but if you want to skip directly to Olivine City immediately, you are allowed to just go in here and sleep in your bed and it'll automatically warp you to town. But otherwise, the boat will be out on the open sea as normal, and as you might observe, there are new sets of trainers that you can battle on the boat. When the boat is going to Olivine City, you will have 10 new trainers to fight, and when it's going to Vermilion City, you will have 9 new trainers to fight. So each route of the boat actually has a different set of Pokemon that you can battle against, which is really neat. Now, in Generation 2, you can fight these new sets of trainers as many times as you want, even multiple times in the same day if you so wish. But in Generation 4, you can only fight each set of trainers once, and then they will not fight you again, which is one of the changes in the remake that I really do not agree with. But honestly, I have no power to change it, so I figured might as well not get too mad about it. But yes, this is basically going to be like a showcase episode of completely optional content. There are no items on the boat or anything. It's basically just showing off these battles because they are included in the game, therefore I wanted to include them in this series. So since we're just going to be going through here and defeating Pokemon and trainers and stuff like that, I figured I would mention that, as you might have gathered, there's been a bit more information revealed for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon since last time I recorded. And I'll be honest, it didn't really tell us all that much. There were a few cryptic hints towards things in the game, like the scene with what is quite clearly the Vermilion Gym, or at least intended to look incredibly similar to the Vermilion Gym. There were also scenes that may or may not have been from Ultra Space, and scenes that may or may not have confirmed that Pokemon follow you in the game. We simply do not know yet. A lot of the stuff that they showed in the trailer was obviously intended to tease and not do much else, because, like, we can glean very little information from what they showed off. One thing that is interesting, though, is that, well, that guy mentioned Lily, which is pretty interesting. We're going to be seeing that a bit later. One thing that's interesting is most, but not all, of the empty lots from Sun and Moon are actually filled in with actual buildings now, which honestly should not surprise anybody. I feel like that was pretty obviously a tease to a future game, so I'm not shocked that it's a change in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But one thing that does look interesting is they don't seem to be Pokemon gyms, so that theory might be down the drain for anyone who was following that. So I guess some people might like that, some people might not. I'm of the opinion that I don't really care if there's gyms in the game or not, as long as the game is good. And, like, it's a Pokemon game, so I feel like we know in general what to expect, but I feel like we just don't have enough information to warrant getting really, really excited for this game yet. And it's really weird, because as of a few days ago, the game is out in less than 3 months. So I'm hoping once September rolls around, we're going to be seeing some new information on the game, like some real new concrete information, because there's not a whole lot we have yet. In fact, I'm wondering if there might be a Nintendo Direct soon, because I feel like we're pretty overdue for one. And it's worth noting I am recording this on August 20th, so that if they do drop a direct between now and the Wednesday on which this video comes out, then I guess I can say I called it, but if not, then oh well. In fact, the only concrete new feature we have for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon as of right now is the Alola Photo Club, I believe is what it's called. And it's basically like, I get the impression it's kind of like the trainer PR video things from X and Y, which I'll be honest, I never ever used. Because basically what it allows you to do is allows you to pose your trainer using all the Z-move animations, and pose your Pokemon, and position the camera and things like that, and just take these little candid shots with your team. Which is cool, I guess? But I'll be honest, that seems like the kind of feature I'm probably gonna either touch once and never touch again, or just never use at all. Because like the Pokefinder photo mode in Sun and Moon, I used like maybe 4 or 5 times, but just never used it again. And one reason for that is actually because like the frame rate is noticeably bad when you're using the Pokefinder in Sun and Moon. Even if you're on the new Nintendo 3DS, it's still quite awful. So people that are saying that Pokemon shouldn't make the jump to the Switch, it should, because the screen gets cluttered during battles because the screen's so small and the performance takes a big hit, and I think it's just a necessary leap at this point. Now, the one other thing they announced for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which I'm actually pretty excited about just because I think it's really cool and funny, is Kommo-o has a new Z move that was not in Sun and Moon. And I gotta say, I really liked the animation, just seeing Kommo-o do its crazy little dance. I just really liked that. I thought it was really funny. What's also funny, though, is seeing what they have to do to make a dragon and fighting type Pokemon viable in such a fairy-dominated environment. Like, this move, it's called Clangorous Soul Blaze, and this move is insanity. It is a dragon-type move that hits both opponents and gives a one-stage boost to all your stats. Like, that's crazy. I don't know if it's gonna make Kommo-o, like, usable in any way, but it's pretty neat to see, like, what they have to do to make Kommo-o worth anything in the current metagame. Now, I have to wonder what other Pokemon are going to be getting unique Z moves. The Clangorous Soul Blaze, they haven't outright confirmed this, but I think it's pretty darned obvious that it's an enhanced version of Clanging Scales, which is Kommo-o's signature regular move. And I think it'd be really cool if they added more Z moves for moves like that, just to give them a little bit more spice. But I'll be honest, the one thing I'm excited about the most that came out of these trailers is actually the music, because as most of you probably know, I'm a big fan of the music in Pokemon games, and I feel like it doesn't get the attention it deserves. But yeah, the music in these games is pretty interesting because they seem like almost like corrupted versions of the Sun and Moon themes, especially the trainer battle theme. Like, when I first heard that, I'm like, what is going on? But I'll admit, I'm kind of into it. I think it's really cool, and I'm hoping they'll remix more stuff. That was one thing that really disappointed me about Black 2 and White 2 is the trainer battle theme. Like, hardly got remixed at all from the original Black and White. I think they added like a little bit more percussion to the song, but other than that, it was pretty much completely unchanged. So I'm hoping we'll see a lot of remixes, or rather hear a lot of remixes in the game. But like, we've heard 3 songs from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon so far, and all of them are remixes of songs that were in the original. So hopefully that is a trend that will continue. Plus, like, let's be honest, back when they were teasing the original Sun and Moon, like, you got so hyped when the trailer started and it started playing the new music. Like, I know there's some people out there that really didn't like the music in Sun and Moon, but I thought it was awesome. So, giving me more of the same, I can definitely get behind. Now, as you can see, I've got Heracross out front because Heracross is the lowest level member of our team at the moment, and I felt that it really needed a bit of help with the levels, and I figured the SS Aqua could give it a little bit of help in that regard. Now I have to ask, why is Takedown missing so darn much? There we go. Very good. The recoil from Takedown is kinda bad, but honestly, it's probably one of the better moves we can get for Heracross at the moment, although one thing I did toss around before the Pokemon League but didn't actually go for is I thought about teaching Heracross Strength. Because Strength is honestly, for what it is, pretty decent. It's like an 80 power physical normal type move with 100% accuracy. Like that's honestly pretty good for single player play. And I might replace Takedown with it, just because obviously Strength will be a little bit more accurate and we won't have to deal with that recoil at the slight cost of power, but anyone in the comments can discuss that because I don't have plans to do that for a while. Anyway, Electabuzz is trying to learn Thunderbolt, which is pretty much objectively better than Thunder Punch. So even though we've rolled with Thunder Punch for a while now, I think it's finally time we said goodbye and gave Electabuzz Thunderbolt, because Thunderbolt is a very powerful electric move. In fact, I think in Generation 2 it's the third most powerful electric type move. Thunder is more powerful, and I believe Zap Cannon is also more powerful, so we'll have to keep that in mind for later. The dining room is up ahead. The stairs at the end lead to the captain's cabin. Yep, this guy won't stop you. It's basically just a free reign throughout the boat, which is honestly what you would expect. Completely optional content. They wouldn't want to throw too many roadblocks in your way. Alright, so I think this is either the last or the second to last trainer on the boat. I haven't been keeping track, but yeah, as it might be evidenced by the fact that we're only like 13 minutes into this video and I said the whole video would be about the SS Aqua, we are going to be doing the return trip in this episode as well. Wow, I used reversal that much? Okay. Guess I really just got into my whole Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon talk. I should also point out, I've been watching the World Championships stream all day. Today was the finals, and it just ended. And man, oh man, there were some really good fights this year. And one thing that was really nice is that there was a lot of diversity in the teams that you saw. Like, I don't know if anyone went and watched the 2016 Worlds, but that tournament was so centralized on like 8 or 9 Pokemon that it was kind of boring to watch, but there was a lot of variety this year, which I really liked, and I hope they can keep that going next year, because a really centralized game focusing on like the same guys that you're going to be seeing over and over really isn't all that fun. So it was really nice to see the diversity. And there we have our beautiful Thunderbolt. Now, fun fact about Thunderbolt, I believe in Generation 3, Thunderbolt could actually cause the sound engine of the game to just glitch out completely. I don't know the specific details of it, and I've never encountered it personally, but yeah, if you use Thunderbolt, or maybe it was Thunder, one of these moves, the game really didn't like it all that much under certain circumstances for some reason. I'm really not sure why, but yeah, I guess it just couldn't handle the awesome electric power. Alright, now I believe we've only got a couple of guys left. Oh wow, there's quite a few. Do I have to fight all of you? Jeez. Do you know the Ruins of Alph? Yes, indeed I do. In fact, our business at the Ruins of Alph is not quite concluded yet. Because, as you might recall, there is one last hidden chamber that requires a specific Pokemon to unlock. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be getting that yet, but hopefully we're going to be getting it soon. And I'll be honest, like, people that have played this game before know what I'm talking about, but I gotta say I'm really nervous for recording that video. Just because my first day of classes is the day this video goes up, and time is going to be a bit of a constraint for me from there, so I'm really, really, really hoping the game plays nice for me when the time comes to do that. And also, we just had a double knockout, which is sad, because since no one had the experience share, no one gets the experience. So, whoops. Man, I really do have to fight all you guys. There are some odd stone panels in the Ruins of Alph. I guess all these guys are heading over to Joda to check out the Ruins of Alph. And it's kind of sad that they're talking about the stone panels, because I've already got all that stuff figured out. So, hopefully they're not too upset about that, but I mean, I figure, like, once you got the puzzle put together, like, half the fun of the puzzle is seeing it done. So, like, there's two parts of the puzzle. There's putting it together and there's seeing it done. So I guess these guys have at least half the experience to look forward to. I don't know. As you guys might have guessed, I don't have too much to talk about this episode besides what has transpired over the past few days, because this is just a straight up, I guess you could say, filler episode. Never thought I'd be saying those words in terms of something I'd be making, but yeah, like, there's nothing story-wise going on in this episode, which might be the first time in the series that's happened? I don't know. Depends on whether or not you count our surfing episode where we took our first step into Kanto as a filler. I personally don't, because, oh man, Kanto, that's like a big deal to people. Don't lay a finger on my students. Okay, so this is a class trip. Interesting. I guess this lady only has 2 students also. I think this is our first time seeing a teacher in this game, and I don't know why, but their sprite always seemed off to me. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe they just reminded me of the traumatic experiences I had in elementary school. Alright, one more Jigglypuff to take out, and I have a feeling this is the last trainer on the boat. This episode's probably going to wind up being kind of long, because I don't want to do 2 whole videos on the SS Aqua. We're going to do everything in one video. So it might be a little bit long, but we're going to just knock it out so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Because I keep like this big master list of what we have to do, and it's going to be really nice to just knock this big chunk of stuff off of there. Now, do you have anything special to say? How do you like SS Aqua's ride? She practically skates across the waves. I guess that's technically new, but just filler text, really. Now that we've beaten all the trainers, there is actually no other way to get the boat to arrive in Olivine City except for sleeping in the bed. So we're going to do that, heal up our party completely, and Fast Ship SS Aqua has arrived in Olivine City. Very nice. And with that, we may head right on over here and depart the boat. But not to worry, we'll be back very, very soon, in fact in like a minute of video time. Fast Ship SS Aqua has arrived in Olivine City. And here we are. Now it's worth noting, it is at this point and this point only that you're allowed to surf out in these bays right here. There's nothing in the Olivine one, but there is something in the Vermilion one which I didn't know of a few episodes back when we were there the first time, but I will be sure to get it this time. Now I think once we walk past this guy, oh, there's actually a weird stop. You see my sprite there, like, skipping? That's weird. Anyway, through the magical power of editing, I will see you guys on Monday. And as if by magic, it is now Monday. In fact, it is Monday morning with like 30 seconds to spare, so we're actually going to see this pathway here change to a normal color because we're actually going to be able to see the time of day transition here. That was not intentional, but yeah, very, very interesting thing. The times of day in this game do change in real time, so you do not have to go into a building and come back out to reset the map. It will actually happen dynamically. It's happened a couple of times off-screen, but I think this will be the first time we actually get to see it, which is really, really neat. Always fun seeing fancy things happen in the world of the sky, especially since today, as of recording this, is actually the 21st of August, which is, of course, Solar Eclipse Day. Very, very cool. Alright, anytime you want to change game, any moment now. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. We can make it. We can make it happen. Right? Yes? Hey, there we go. Beautiful. Always fun to see that. Welcome to Fast Ship SS Aqua. Will you be boarding today? Yes. May I see your SS ticket? Today is Monday, but the SS Aqua will also go to Kanto on Fridays, so that is something that you can take advantage of when the time is appropriate. And we are once again on the boat with a whole new set of trainers, so let's get right on to it. Now let's see, is there anyone in this room? There is. Very nice. Oh no, I've lost something that's very important. Is it in the trash can, good sir? Anyway, I would like to talk about the Pokemon World Championships a little bit more, because the very, very last match in the Masters Final had probably like the most hilarious first turn I'd ever seen in my life, and I'd like to describe it to you guys so we can just bask in awe of how this whole thing transpired. Now, this of course did take place in Sun and Moon, so you'd need to be pretty familiar with the mechanics of that game in order to know exactly how this worked. But basically, there was a Japanese player and an Australian player, and the Japanese player started with their Whimsicott and Alolan Marowak, and the Australian player opened up with Garchomp and Alolan Ninetales, and the Alolan Ninetales, due to its ability, automatically set up Hail on the battlefield. Now, the Japanese player sees that Garchomp, and they're like, I want to take that thing out as soon as humanly possible, because, like, it's a Garchomp. It's a little scary. So what they do is they switch out Marowak for Tapu Fini, which places misty terrain on the field. And then they have their Whimsicott use Z Nature Power, which is forced into going first because Nature Power is a status move and Whimsicott has the ability Prankster. Now, the misty terrain that has just gone into effect forces Nature Power to become Moonblast. So Z Nature Power is going to call the Fairy-type Z move Twinkle Tackle, which is a hilarious name, by the way. And he's going to use this to take out that Garchomp with a priority Twinkle Tackle from the Prankster coupled with Nature Power. The Australian player predicts he is going to do this and switches out his Garchomp for his Mandibuzz. Now, Mandibuzz is a dark type, and the ability Prankster was actually nerfed in Sun and Moon to force moves boosted by Prankster to fail when used on dark types, and this extends to moves called by status moves. So even though that Twinkle Tackle was a damaging move, since it was called by Nature Power, which is a status move, it failed completely. And then, to top things off, the Alolan Ninetales sets up an Aurora Veil, and both of the Japanese players' Pokemon take hail damage, and the Mandibuzz avoids hail damage, presumably due to either its ability or its held item, or something. So, yeah, the funny thing about this is, if it was a standard Twinkle Tackle, it would have been a knockout. But the fact that it was boosted by Prankster because it was called by Nature Power, it failed. Like, that's just turn 1, by the way. The first turn of that match was insanity. Like, it just blew my mind. Like, all the stuff going on when you think about it, like, it's just crazy. So can we just talk about some really crazy plays you've had in this game in the comments? I'm not sure if anyone will be able to beat that, because that was crazy, but I'd love to hear some really ridiculous stories, because some of my favorite types of moments in Pokemon are when really crazy things happen in battles that you really just didn't even realize could happen. It's just really, really fun to think about. Anyway, what do we have next up here? We have a Starmie. Alright, we're going to switch over to Electabuzz right here. Now, I've been planning out the next couple of episodes of the series, and it's looking like we're going to be exploring quite a few areas that actually require cut in order to fully navigate. So it's looking like somebody on the team is going to get the shaft for the next couple of episodes and won't be able to join us because we need room for our cut user. Alright, taking down that Starmie right there. And last up we have a Ninetales, which is a fun one, so I think we'll, actually I think we'll stay in on Electabuzz. Electabuzz is actually miraculously one of the 2 lowest leveled members on the team. That's kind of crazy. I didn't think I'd ever see the day. Electabuzz has out-leveled the team for like most of the series since we got it. So it's kind of weird to see how now it's like a bit low there, although I guess I've been purposely avoiding using it because it's been over-leveled, so I guess this is the natural conclusion to that train of thought. Now, this trip on the SS Aqua, didn't mean to go downstairs yet, this trip on the SS Aqua only has 9 trainers. The previous one had 10. What kinds of Pokeballs do you have with you? Alright. Now, one thing I could swear I remembered from my youth, but I'm obviously remembering wrong, is I could have sworn one of these trips on the SS Aqua used the Kanto battle music, but obviously that's not true, because we've heard the Johto battle music in both voyages, so maybe I'm just crazy. I should also probably switch Heracross out of the front slot, because it really can't do all that much, and I don't want to sleep in the bed yet, because I don't want to set the boat to go straight to Vermilion quite yet. I mean, I know I can still explore the boat whenever I want, and I'm only forced to get off when I talk to the guy by the door, but still. Alright, taking down that Magnemite right there. Yes, a freaking Magnemite. I don't know what this game's deal is. And next up we have a Muck. Espeon's probably the best to take care of that Muck, but it's pretty high leveled, so we're going to be sending in Marowak instead. Alright. I do apologize if it seems like I'm running out of stuff to talk about, but this is, as I mentioned earlier, just going through these battles that have no story significance and are just completely optional. So yeah, I don't know. It's something I felt compelled to show, but honestly, if you're not really into this game, I would not fault you at all if you just didn't check this out ever. And in fact, the only other Let's Play of Pokemon Crystal I've actually watched, which was, Chugga Conroy's Let's Play, I don't think he even showed this. Like, at all. I'm not sure if he even mentioned it, so yeah, it's something that not a lot of people really know about this game, so that's the main reason I wanted to show it, but honestly, if you're really not interested in this, I just wouldn't recommend checking it out. Switched Electabuzz into the front because it could definitely use a little experience. Shush, my brain is picking up radio signals. Okay, I forgot about that line, that's funny. I'm pretty sure that's not actually a thing, but I mean, I guess if Rodney here thinks it's a thing, I can't really stop him. Sometimes people are very set in what they believe, so I guess you just sort of have to, I don't know, just let them go on and do their own thing, really. At some point, that's all you really have to do. Anyway, I'm gonna Fire Punch you, and wow, we actually got the burn. Really nice. And we have Disable coming out right here. I believe I mentioned this earlier, but in case I didn't, they actually changed the way Disable works in Generation 2. In Generation 1, it would disable a random move, but in Generation 2 and onwards, it will actually disable the move that the target last used, which means if Disable's used on the first turn, and the target hasn't used a move yet, I'm pretty sure it actually fails, which is kind of interesting. Honestly, I think that's the better option, because like before, Disable had this, I don't know, randomness to it, which made it not that usable, but now that it actually is predictable in its behavior, it's definitely a lot more used. In fact, I believe I saw it a couple of times at Worlds this year. Very, very cool stuff. Anyway, taking down that Psychic there, I hear something. Oh really, what do you hear, pray tell? I get it. You can hear Johto's radio on the fast ship. Ah, I guess the fast ship is categorized as a Johto area, and therefore Johto battle music, Johto radio, all that good stuff. I'm trying to forget my woes. Let's battle. I feel like that's a very common trope when it comes to characters on boats, trying to forget woes. But yeah, you probably couldn't tell that this is considered a Johto area, considered I have the Kanto trees on the sidebar of the video. I have to ask, how many people actually like that detail? Because, like, I had this border created, like, all the way at the beginning of the series, because I knew I wanted to differentiate the post-game a little bit, like, visually, so I just used the Kanto tile set for that section of the game. I think it's a neat little detail, and I'd like to see if anyone else thinks it's like the same kind of cool detail, or if I'm the only one and everyone else thinks it's kind of stupid. I don't know. I always like to add a little visual flair to my videos whenever possible. Anyway, taking down that trainer right there. My heart weeps. Now, I guess fun fact about these characters being able to be rematched indefinitely in Generation 2. Remember on the last voyage how... Is there someone up here in this corner? No. Remember how on the last voyage there was that field trip going on? You can take this trip multiple times in a single day, so like basically these people are just taking this voyage over and over and over again. It makes no sense. Now, as you can see, anyone who is not a trainer on this boat has exactly the same dialogue, so really not worth talking to them again. Even though we're out on the sea, I can't fish. This is boring. Let's battle. It's kind of like how in the Alola region, even though they pride themselves on being an archipelago, you're actually not allowed to surf in between the islands. Which honestly is probably a good thing from a gameplay perspective, but in a series that included Hoenn as a region, I find it a little bit funny at the same time. Now, if you look at the Thunderbolt sprite, how there's like that big black dot, something I just noticed recently is while it's flashing, it's actually slowly rotating clockwise, which is strange. I didn't actually notice that before. But I mean, it's flashing so fast, I guess I couldn't fault you if you hadn't noticed it. But yeah, since this is a fisherman, it looks like just spamming Thunderbolt is definitely the way to go. Very good. In fact, Electabuzz is possibly gonna get level 49 in this fight, maybe? And here we have Octillery, which honestly, prior to Crickettoon's introduction in Diamond and Pearl, Octillery probably had like my favorite cry in the game. Like, it's just so weird. And also the fact that Remoraid evolves into Octillery, like, do you see the resemblance? I don't, so please explain it to me, because like, look at this thing. Does that look like it evolves into Octillery? I don't know, I guess the line of thinking is Remoraid's kind of like a pistol because people have actually been seen in various forms of media wielding Remoraid as a water gun, and Octillery's kind of like a cannon, so I guess it's like the evolution more follows weaponry instead of fish evolution patterns, which is really, really weird. I don't know, I guess we can go with it, and this guy is actually a trainer. This is where we sailors work. On boats. Who'da thunk it? Sailor Garrett. That's interesting, my cousin's named Garrett, although I don't know if it's spelled the same way. I'm not sure. I've never actually looked into it. I don't know about you, but there's like a lot of words that like I hear in speech a lot, but I've never seen them written down. So when I do see them written down, they almost seem foreign to me. Is there any words that you guys have heard that are like that? I don't know. I'm just throwing out so many questions for the comments here because this is such a random, optional, not really all that interesting part of the game. So I guess I'm trying to get the viewer interaction up just so we can have something worthwhile come out of this video. I'm building up my legs by bracing against the ship's rocking. Oh yes, I can definitely understand that, although I think trains are probably equally useful for that, because sometimes I've been on trains that have been really, really wobbly, and it's incredibly hard to stand up. Alright, got a Machoke right here. Again, only level 30. Really not sure what the big idea is. with these Pokemon that are just so low-leveled compared to our skill level. But yeah, just take them down, and hopefully sometime soon we will be encountering some more challenging opponents. And if not soon, then less than soon. More than soon? Is it less than soon or more than soon if you mean something that's further out than soon? I don't know. But I can assure you we are going to be encountering some tough enemies at some point later in the series, but it might not be until right around the very, very end. Alright. Now, I think this is the last trainer. I hope it's the last trainer, because we've been doing a lot of battles this video. When all is said and done, we will have done 19 battles this video, which makes for a very long video. Let me tell you, this recording's already at about 18 minutes, and I know last section of the video was like 19, so we might have a 40-minute video here. Ah well. But yeah, it looks like that is absolutely everyone, so I am going to go heal up at my room, and then we are going to disembark the ship. Ah, refreshed and restored, and with that, Fast Ship SS Aqua has arrived in Vermilion City. Very good. And with that, we can finally say goodbye to the SS Aqua, because we've spent a lot of time on this boat, let me tell you. Fast Ship has arrived in Vermilion City, and here we are. Now, this is the only time you are allowed to surf out into this bay right here. And right over here, there is a hidden iron that I mentioned in a previous video, but we missed the last time we were here, so it's definitely worth pointing out. But with that, I think we are going to end things off here. So, this past episode of Pokemon Crystal, we explored the SS Aqua on its 2 ladder voyages that are not actually required, completely optional content. Very, very cool. And I also grabbed that one hidden item that I forgot about the last time we were on the boat because it was bugging me. And next time on Pokemon Crystal, we are going to be continuing our exploration of the Kanto region with a very long stretch of routes. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.